سبحان الملك القدوس.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dearest brothers and sisters, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we send salawat and salam for His beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dearest brothers and sisters, in our journey across the Quran, we have crossed and traversed various verses of reflection and introspection. As the departure of Ramadan draws closer, we journey through a chapter of the Quran that accompanies us in many mornings and evenings, in many gatherings, and it is perhaps the last surah of the Quran that we hear before we too depart from this world. In a hadith that appears in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, the Prophet ﷺ instructs us, "Iqra'u Yasin ala mawtakum," recite Surah Yasin to those who are about to face death, those who will depart. This hadith in of itself carries a profound message that requires of us greater introspection into the meaning of the surah. What message is contained in the surah? That as we lay on our deathbeds, as we endure the pangs of death, as we come face to face with death itself, the surah provides us with ease and comfort. I came across a quote by Allama Iqbal, who was an influential Islamic thinker of the 18th century. His works and writings influenced the formation of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. These few words of Muhammad Iqbal are not only directly relevant to the discussion of Surah Yasin in light of the hadith mentioned, but it also goes to a broader theme of accessing and reflecting on the glorious Quran. Allama Iqbal writes, "The Sufis and Mullahs have put you in chains. The Sufis and Mullahs have put you in chains. You do not take life from the wisdom of the Quran. You have nothing to do with the verses of the Quran except when you die, someone reads Yasin for you." What Allama Iqbal means here is that we have placed so much reliance on the pious and the learned in reflecting on the Quran, we are like lifeless corpses taking no benefit from the Quran, except when we pass away, someone reads Surah Yasin by our deathbeds. Respected brothers and sisters, read Surah Yasin with life. Read Surah Yasin with life before it is read to you at your death. Contemplate on the lessons of Surah Yasin, which is accessible to you, so that you can benefit from it during your life and after your death. Returning to Surah Yasin itself, it contains 5 distinct themes or messages. What is truly mind-blowing is that although these 5 messages are seemingly random in nature, they are connected and coherent in the broader picture of Surah Yasin. In the opening verses of Surah Yasin, Yasin wal Quran al Hakim, Allah describes the Quran as Hakim. Hakim meaning wisdom, like the wisdom which Allama Iqbal refers to. But Hakim also means authoritative, bihi yahkum, through which one exercises one's authority. Hakim from Ihkam also means something that's intertwined or knitted. That is, these verses, though they are seemingly random in nature, are in fact interrelated with each other, and every ayah collaborates the other. The first theme, of course, is that the Quran is a true revelation and it has the power to revive hearts. How does the Quran revive hearts? By guiding to Allah. In verse 13, Allah proclaims, إِنَّمَا تُنذِرُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ ذِكْرَ وَخَشِيَ الرَّحْمَنَ بِالْغَيْبِ. You can only caution the one who follows the dhikr. And the dhikr refers to the Quran in this instance. In verse 69, Allah SWT says, إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ. It is nothing more than a message, a dhikr, وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ. Holding fast to this concept of dhikr, in Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ provides us a parable with the one who makes dhikr and the one who does not. And its parable is like the living and the dead. So the Quran has the power to guide one from the death of kufr to the life of iman, from the death of neglect of Allah to the life of the remembrance of Allah. In verse 70 of Surah Yasin, Allah SWT says, لِيُنْذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيٍّ. This Quran not only revives life, but it cautions and provides guidance to the one who is alive. لِيُنْذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيٍّ. To warn and caution the one who is alive. And in various verses of Surah Yasin, the imagery of Allah reviving the dead reoccurs. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Indeed, we give life to the dead. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ الْأَرْضُ الْمَيْتَةُ أَحْيَيْنَاهَا. And a sign for them is the dead earth that is revived through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grace. If you and I want to experience true life, it can only be experienced through following the verses of the Quran. The second theme or discussion contained in Surah Yasin is an historical account of the nations that received 3 messengers, 3 Rasul. Verse 20 uniquely records the conversation the one had who believed in them and followed them. This is the one who believed and followed in the messages, without detailing the actual message of these messengers themselves. So the verse records a discussion of one who followed 3 messengers as opposed to the message of the messengers themselves. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. A man came from the furthest part of the city, and his message, his information, was to say, Ya qawm, my people, follow the messengers, follow these people that have come to you with a message. And this verse does not record that message itself. In contrast, however, we find in the opening verses of Surah Yasin, the message of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is recorded. And this is because he is the seal of prophets, and our duty is not to convey, rather our duty is to convey his message and not our own. The third discussion is one that is found all over the Quran. It is a discussion of the various signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ الْأَرْضِ, the sign for them is the earth. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ اللَّيْلِ, the sign for them is the night. Allah challenges man to look around him, and in so doing, man will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs of His greatness is in everything before him. The fourth theme, the fourth message, after having discussed the glaring signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness and the inability of some to see the truth, Allah discusses the hereafter and the consequences for those who accept Allah's greatness and those who do not. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spends quite a bit of attention in describing and discussing those who rejected the signs of Allah's greatness. يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. Woe to us, destruction to us, who has resurrected us from our graves. This is the promise of Ar-Rahman, and it is a manifestation of the truth of the messengers. The final discussion, the fifth theme, is about the Quran itself. وَمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ الشِّعْرَ وَمَا يَنبَغِي لَهُ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا وَيَحِقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. We have not taught Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam poetry, nor is that possible. It is no more than a message, a dhikr, وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ, and a clear Quran, which warns those who are alive, مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا, and justifies the word or judgment on those who disbelieve. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses in this verse of Surah Yasin the words وَمَا يَنبَغِي, meaning it is improbable, it is impossible that the words of the Quran are the words of a man, just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the impossibility of the sun overtaking the moon. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. Scientifically, it is impossible for the sun and the moon, night and day, to move from its orbit. Similarly, if you exercise every atom of intellect, you will realize that it is impossible. It is impossible that the Quran is the word of a man, and it must be divine guidance. The most remarkable point across all 5 themes or messages, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares in the 3rd verse of Surah Yasin, إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Indeed, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you are truly from the messengers and a straight path. It is as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, do not be hard on yourself. Their guidance is not your responsibility. So whether they believe or they don't believe, your mission is only to show them the path of guidance, but you have no control of whether or not they tread that path. Look at the nations who received not 1, not 2, but 3 messengers, that their people did not believe. The signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness is glaring before them, yet they do not believe. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أَلَا يَحْسُنْكَ قَوْلُهُمْ إِنَّا نَعْلَمُ مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ. Do not let their words worry you or sadden you. We know what they hold secretly and what they make public. And this is the most beautiful message of a most beautiful chapter. Allah consoles His beloved Habib Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this chapter, and does so through the Quran itself. Today we are all anxious, we are all worried, worried about our businesses, our jobs, our future, our life, our health, our death. Yet all our worries are incomparable to the worries and anxieties of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. The Quran was a source of comfort for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the face of his trials, then it must be a source of comfort for us today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us true understanding of the Quran. May Allah grant us the ability to reflect, introspect and practice on the Quran as we depart from the month of Ramadan. As the month of the Quran departs from us, may we not depart from the Quran itself. May this month be a means of our motivation, inspiration to grow a relationship, attain some attachment with the glorious Quran. Wa akhiru da'ana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.